If you think vegetables are boring, this recipe will change your mind. This Navratan Korma is my all-time favorite vegetable curry. It's so rich, creamy, packed with flavor, and incredibly nutritious. You're gonna love this. So start by chopping up vegetables. We gotta cut onion into slices. You can even dice them. It's all gonna be cooked for a long time, caramelize and become the base of a rich gravy. Garlic, just smash and peel, no chopping needed. Ginger, slice thinly. Ginger garlic, it's very crucial to add a generous amount of those pungent vegetables, which will balance out the sweetness of the caramelized onion. Carrot, dice into small cubes, around 1 to 2 cm or ½ inch. It gives you some natural sweetness and heartiness. Cauliflower, remove from the stem and roughly chop. We don't want to cut it into too small pieces, cause it's gonna break down a bit as it cooks. Green beans, roughly chop. I really like the subtle bitter notes in curry. So now we have finished chopping, and here you can see all the ingredients on one screen. Feel free to take a screenshot, which should be easier to read than the written ingredients list in the description. So first, when it comes to vegetable curry, the thing we definitely want to avoid is that the vegetables are not soft and are still crunchy when you bite them. So to ensure those hard vegetables, carrots and green beans are soft, we're gonna pre-boil them in 400 ml of water. Bring it to a boil over high heat. Once it starts bubbling, turn the heat to medium and cook for 10 minutes. Those veggies take forever to soften if cooked in gravy, so we don't wanna do it that way. After 10 minutes, they are nice and soaked. Set them aside without discarding the water. And we're gonna move on to making the gravy. In a large pot, add the oil, onion, garlic, ginger, and the salt. The salt draws out the moisture from the veggies, allowing the onion to caramelize faster. The effect might not be that significant, but it does work, so we add all of it at this point. We're gonna cook them until this stage, where the onion has been deeply browned and cooked down. In this process, we don't do anything special. All you do are only two things. The first is stir and scrape the brown bits off the bottom every 20 to 40 seconds. And the second is keep turning down the heat as it cooks, which means start at high heat first, and once the onion looks lightly browned, turn on the heat to medium, and then once it's cooked further and shrunk significantly, switch to low heat. If you keep cooking without a break, it should take around 30 minutes. But 30 minutes straight is a bit labor intensive. If you're tired, feel free to turn off the heat and take a break. And as for the oil, you might be thinking like, oh, that's a lot of oil. Yes, that's a lot of oil. Oil plays a very important role in Indian cooking. A generous amount of vegetable oil creates a rich, great mouthfeel characteristic of a restaurant's curry and also makes it sweeter, enhancing overall flavor. But some people should want to prioritize lower calories over flavor. If so, go with this oil. Once the onion is well reduced and caramelized, add the tomato and the cashew nuts. Cook over high heat for 2 minutes to get rid of the bitterness of the tomato. And then add 200 ml of water, heavy cream. If you're vegan, substitute with coconut cream. And then it's the moment when a delicious caramelized onion mixture turns into ridiculously delicious curry base. We're gonna add all the spices, which are coriander, cumin, fennel, black pepper, cayenne, cinnamon, cardamom, turmeric, and clove. I use only the basic ones this time though. They all create so appetizing sufficient depth of flavor. And then blend it together with a hand blender into a smooth puree. I did it all in the pot, but if you find it hard to do, transfer the smaller container and do the process. Once it's smooth and looks like this, add all the rest, which are the boiled carrots and green beans, along with water to use to boil them, as well as peas, raisins, and cauliflowers. And then cook over low heat for 20 to 30 minutes until the cauliflower softens and the gravy is reduced well. At this point, it might already look thick and you might want to start adding more water, but don't. Because the veggies release some moisture and we want it to be extremely thick like this at the end. So start simmering without adding water. Meanwhile, scrape off the bottom occasionally to ensure the gravy doesn't burn. Once that's done, it should look something like this, nice and thick. It's ready to serve up. I chose rice this time though. You can also enjoy it with naan, chapati, or whatever. I also garnish with some coriander leaf and cayenne pepper infused oil, which is so simple to make. Just add half a cup of oil and a teaspoon of cayenne pepper in a small pan and cook on low heat for 1 minute. Of course it's optional, but it makes it look more appetizing. Now let's dig in. It's so rich, creamy, and hearty. The vegetables are nice and sweet, and the spices are well balanced. That's exactly the vegetable curry I'll be aiming for. It has not only loads of caramelized onion, but also plenty of oil, cashew nuts, and heavy cream. All of those have contributed to the richness and create a restaurant-like, thick, luxurious texture. As for the vegetables, carrots, green beans, peas, and cauliflower, they are well cooked and go best with this gravy. From time to time, the raisins burst in the mouth, adding sweetness and fruitiness to the curry, creates a nice contrast in the spicy note. It's amazingly delicious. Anyway, it's so good, this will surely change your view of vegetables. You might no longer need something like butter chicken when vegetable curry is this delicious. So once you try it, let me know how it turns out. Don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next one.